Hello everybody, my name is Joey. This is a really exciting, happy video to make today for so many reasons. First of all, this is my most recent collaboration bead box that I designed with Stella of Didi Beads. She is a wonderful bead curator in her own right. She doesn't really need me, but the two of us come together and we have so much fun and we've really outdone ourselves. Again, if I do say so myself. The other thing is we were shipping our collaboration box in this reusable storage container and also with a little label so that you can organize yourself and reuse these. This is what I do with mine. I love getting these. They fit really well on my work cart and they're clear, so you can see what you have in there if you're really looking for something. And we had a little issue because of the new laws about the tariffs, and she worked it out so that they will now come once again in this plastic box. I know some of you got the Made in Canada storage or cardboard box last time because we were abiding by the law, but we're able to do this now. She figured out a way to do it properly, and so they will come in our little storage box. So that's the good news. The collaboration box, the storage box is available again. But the really exciting news, and some of you might have already guessed this, is our box is called Blooming Branches, and we have a really special bead that was handmade just for our box by a bead artist that I came to know through my channel, and that she is a polymer clay bead artist, and she let me have a hand in the decisions about the color and everything in the bead, which was really fun to have some input and have somebody actually making a bead. Her name is Vicky Mundy, and if you guys that have been here on my channel since the beginning, I met her pretty much at the beginning of my channel, and I've done several videos using her work. And she has had a health challenge that she's, kind of coming to the end of, and she's back to making beads. And so these are limited edition, only for our box, and they are amazing. And it is so incredible, you guys, what goes into the decisions. Just like when we make a piece of jewelry, when I started with her, she said, well, which way do you want the hole? Do you want it going horizontally or vertically? And, I chose vertically, and then she said, well, do you want the flower? Do you want the rhinestone in the eye? Do you want the gold? So, and even the color of this bird, she had to make a special cane to do this. And I said, everybody has blue birds, everybody has that. I want a pink bird. I mean, where else are you going to see a pink bird? And so she did this beautiful little wildflower with a leaf for the wing. And I'm trying to get really close to the camera because they're so dimensional. She puts a lot of detail. There's a little bit of gilding on the edge of the flower, and the birdies have a rhinestone eye, and they're just absolutely perfect, And so I just can't thank Vicky enough, because she had to repeat the same bead over and over again for our box. You guys, I'm so sorry. I waited almost 30 minutes to start filming. I'm not sure if my microphone is picking up, but my neighbor, he yells at his dogs. They're always barking and crazy, and it's so loud for me, and I can't edit it out when I'm talking. So I don't know if you guys are hearing it through the microphone, but for me, it's deafening. I almost can't talk over the dog barking, but I'm just going to keep going and apologize for the neighbor. But Vicky just did an amazing job, and I did talk to her, and I know she was, she's not used to making the same bead over and over again, exactly the same, because every box had to have one. And I know it was really labor intensive for her, and but she did a great job. They're just absolutely amazing. She did a little bit of a plainer side, and can you see the finish that she did? It's like pearlescent. It has a little bit of a shimmer. I don't know if the camera's showing you, but to the human eye, this is just absolutely gorgeous. I do not want to put it down. I have to, because Stella and I have added some things to Vicky's beautiful work. So I'm going to say right now, I'm going to pause before I continue unboxing. If you think you want this box, I would hop over to Didi Beads right now. The link is in the description box, and purchase it, because this is a limited edition. There are not a lot of these boxes to go around, and we do expect them to sell out very quickly. So, maybe jump over, purchase if it is something you want, because if you wait, it may not be there. Our boxes have been selling out pretty quickly, and we would like to do a larger quantity. We really couldn't on this one because of the handmade bead that had to go in every box. So I'm just going to say that as of this filming and me speaking right now, they are still available because Stella did not make them available on her website. We coincided my video airing on YouTube with her website. So it's a fair chance for everybody. So I just wanted to say that so that if you really want this, you don't get disappointed. Okay, back to the list. We have these gorgeous, this is amazing. This is a 15-inch strand of 6mm raspberry rose drawbench glass beads. They are drizzled in this fabulous gold. There is a lot of color variation, like all these shades of pinks and raspberries. And what's amazing, I mean, they're 6mm and they're glass and they're wonderful, but I'm going to pick up my little bird again. Look at the color match to the little bird's flower wing with the beads. They're just so great. I was clapping for Stella when she found these and added them to our box. I just think that's amazing. It's going to make for a really, really beautiful, rich design that these beads match our little floral bird wing. So I was so excited when Stella found these. And then we have a little bead mix here. It is cornflower blue crystal mix. It's going to be loose. And let me just get a little piece of wire. And because there's some smooth beads, there's some faceted beads, there's some matte and some shiny beads. Let me just pick up a little bit of everything. So this is the little cornflower blue bead mix. And we really wanted this to be kind of the colors of nature, just varied. The design ideas that I have in mind, and I'll show you a couple of samples, were just things not too lined up, not too contrived, and wildflowers and birds and branches, and what you might find in nature on a walk in the park or the woods, or even at a garden party where everything is outside. So that's kind of where we're going with the little bead mix. And then we gave you 6 pieces of this gorgeous check glass tulip. It's a lime green color and it has this amazing purple wash. And I've said this before, I have a design background, and a lot of people don't realize that the shades of green are a neutral in design. People think white, gray, black, taupe, cream, that those are the neutrals that go with anything, but green is as well. And it is such a great way to add life and color without overwhelming a color palette. So we do have some greens in here to make it look natural and to add life and color to the brights that are also in the box. And this is just the perfect way to do it. So up next, we have something that I absolutely, absolutely love. There are 6 pieces of these. These are amazing. They're clear in the middle. It's a table cut check glass purple wash spindle bead. So I really hope the camera is doing justice. I love a clear bead like that where I can see the drill hole. I think that is so cool. It's like a window. And this is going to go in my first project. I just think these are amazing. You can make links out of these. They're fabulous for stringing. I mean, what a beautiful shape. And again, I know it's clear, but look at the dimension and look at the purple wash on the outside. And that the table cutting is just so beautiful. I have my fingerprints on it a little bit, but maybe that'll make you see it. So there's 6 pieces of that gorgeous bead in there. And then there is a blooming flower mix. I actually had started to play with a few of mine. There's 24 pieces. This is a 10mm check glass cup flower, and they're just so dimensional. They have a Picasso wash on them, and there's just tons of colors: pinks, golds, greens, blues, purples, and it's just like this little wildflower mix, and it just goes so perfectly with the theme of blooming branches. And these are going to make their appearance in my designs in a few ways. And then there are 10 pieces of a check glass leaf mix. And I just love that Stella thought of this, having a couple of different leaves, because, in nature, there are a lot of different leaves. So there's this one where the drill is going across the top, and it is a really, really soft green. And then there's the mint leaf where the drill hole goes straight up and down the middle. And I love this one because you can use a ball head pin here. and put a simple loop and make leaf clusters that way. And I'm going to show you that I've actually done that about a year ago. I'm going to share a project with you to give you extra ideas on this box from what I'm going to make. And then the next thing is 8 pieces of this gorgeous 12 millimeter porcelain raspberry rose bead. Look at this bead, you guys. And I love porcelain beads. I love that we have that in the box with a large hole, because if you want to work with leather or Brazilian waxed cord or a cotton cord or anything that's a bit chunkier, you can use that on this bead, and it's just absolutely gorgeous. Look at the pretty soft, it's almost like a watercolor rose, and the gold has a little bit of, it's opaque, but a little bit of shimmer, a little bit of metallic on it. Just an absolutely stunning bead. And then there is 1 yard of this absolutely gorgeous 14 karat gold plated chain. Just the prettiest link, simple, plain, wonderful. If you want to add dangles to it, just absolutely perfect. And it is just the absolute perfect addition to this pretty little finding, if I can pick it up. This is also a 14 karat gold plated tree branch link. Look how sweet that is. It has a loop here and a loop here. And so I intend to do this in my first project. And for me, like, I see the sweetest bar necklace, like a minimalist bar necklace, but with a natural theme. And that's what I'm going to do with mine. So you could like play with hanging your bird from the bar. That's one idea. You could also attach the bird to the top of the bar for a necklace that way. But I'm going to create a layering necklace. I'm going to create a separate little branchy floral bar necklace, and then come back in another video and do a pendant necklace with my bird. And I think I'm going to be using some leather with my bird. So that's a little bit of a sneak peek of my plan. And let me just move a few things out of the way here. And I'm going to give you just kind of a design idea that's going to be different from the projects I intend to make, because about a year ago, I did 2 or 3 videos on making birds' nests. And of course, I didn't have Vicky's beautiful handmade bead back then, so I used this check glass bird. But this is one of the things you can do with this kind of a theme. And I will link that video in case you're interested in how I do my nests with the little eggs. Because in this box, you have these would make beautiful little eggs for the nest, as would these. So that is a design idea that I already have a video on. And these are 8 millimeter beads. And just to let you know, this is about 5 feet of 20 gauge wire that I did this bird nest out of. Oh, and here's what I was saying about those leaves, that we have a little different colorway in our box, but you can use a ball head pin and just make a simple loop. And on like these cluster sections, your body holds the cluster up, and like Vicky's bird here would be really pretty, like the bird is kind of metaphorically on the edge of his bird nest. It's very branchy and very tree-like, and it's just beautiful. And you have so many pretty flowers that you could create the same sort of a cluster section with. So I will link this video below, and I'm just going to show you one more. This is 6 millimeter faceted beads that I did this bird nest out of. So just so you can see the difference in size, if you like more petite jewelry, you can definitely scale this down. And this is only 3 feet of 20 gauge wire, and a little less of a cluster section. I just made some leaf charms, but you have leaves I can't talk. You have leaves to work with if you want to do. This one was, different lengths with different beads, but you could really accomplish these designs with what's in our box. And 2 different ways to make the bird nest, and it's my take on it. It's really fun, really easy, super organic. You really can't get it wrong. And so I will link this video below if you're interested in going that way. But I just want to do something different because, as you see, I've already done this. So as you know, if you have been here before, and honestly most of you have, although new people do join the community every week, but I always go into my own supplies, things that I've purchased or hoarded when I get a bead box, even one that I was part of curating. And that is no exception today, but I have to share something with you that was a gift to me. If you guys are comment readers, then I'm sure you recognize the name Diane Bolognani. She a beautiful Italian name, but she sent me a gift. She found these and she said she wanted to share them with me, and she was really curious about what I would do with them. And of course, at the time I received her gift, Stella and I were working on this box. And I'm just going to give you a heads up. We've actually never worked on 2 boxes at the same time, but we already have our second box put together, and it also includes another one of Vicky's handmade beads, but something totally different from this, but something that will work back to this. And I had a big hand in the design. I basically told Vicky what I wanted for that box, and she let me choose the colors and really have a say in how she constructed the bead, and it's really amazing. So we will probably post that box next month if this box sells out, you know, hopefully it will. But anyway, we were working on both of these boxes when Diane sent me this gorgeous gift, and when I opened her gift, I messaged her and I said, I have to save these when our box is ready, because a little butterfly with all the flowers and birds that we're working on is going to be absolutely perfect. And at the time, Stella had not chosen the chain that was going to go in the box. So I didn't know how well it was going to work out, but this is what I'm going to do. These are so cool that 2 of these are double links with a loop on each side, and 2 of them are charms with just, whoops, come back, little butterfly, little flutter by. So it just as a charm with 1 link. So I did a little bit of research. I didn't ask Diane where she found these, but I did do a little bit of research, and I found something similar, and I'll put a link to that in the description box in case you're interested in adding that into your own work with this box. So that's going to go in my first necklace, and maybe even my second necklace. So when I come back with my second video, you're going to be seeing some of these things that I pulled in from my stash. This disc, this glass ring. I pulled a little tiny bellflower from my stash, and that's going to be added into my bird. But for today's necklace, I have my gift from Diane, and thank you, Diane. Like, she, you know, I think it's amazing. It really feels like you guys just really listen to me, which I think is just so lovely. Like, you really listen and you're really invested in my videos, because like this is so me. This starlight kind of finish on the butterfly's wings and the dimension. I mean, they're so dimensional, and the gold and the scale of this, and you know, the fact that Diane took the time and the money to send me this, and it's like so like right up my alley, and I just feel, you know, it makes me feel like so valuable and important, because, you know, I mean, we're in a world where people don't always hear each other, you know, so that is just so, it's just so amazing. Okay, oh, I'm talking, and I'm very grateful and really having fun with this box, and I just think Vicky did an absolutely amazing job. If you've been around my channel, you've seen that I've done some things with her work, but if you go on my bracelet playlist and on my necklace playlist, you'll see that I've done quite a few videos with other beads that she has made. And I was always, every time I would post a video with her, because she gifted me a lot of her work, which was so special because of, you know, because period is special, but you know, she was really dealing with a health challenge, and I just was so grateful, you know, that she took the time during all of that to share with me. But you will see that I've done quite a few designs with her work, and every time I posted one of those videos, I was bombarded with questions. How can I contact Vicky? Where can I buy her beads? Where can I see it? Does she have a website? So that may be forthcoming as she starts to feel better. And maybe even on the Didi Beads website in the future. I know that there's some inner workings there. It's not ready yet, but check regularly with Didi Beads, because you may be seeing Vicky's work there as well. So I'm just going to set this aside and make a little workspace here. And I'm just going to make a chain. I'm going to pull out of the camera because I'm actually not going to use my entire chain, which normally I would because I like long necklaces, but I want this necklace to be about 18 inches in length, and I want to have some links of chain left over to add into my next necklace because, as I said, I really want to be able to layer these, like wear the shorter one and then wear the longer one and have like a little bit of mixed media. So let me just pull out of the camera 1 second to get my length. Okay, so for my first necklace, I am going to start by taking the length that I need, and I'm going to put a piece of wire in here and find the middle so that I have two lengths that are even. And I have some jump rings here that I made out of the same 22 gauge wire that I'm going to be using for my components that I'm making. And for this necklace, I'm going to use the 2 butterfly links that Diane gifted me, one of these gorgeous table cut beads. This is a little flower that I just had literally sitting on the side of my table, but I really like the color. And I'm going to do one of each of these flower beads. And what else? Oh, my little, I have a little tab closure for this. And this is, oh, and my branch. I'm forgetting the most important thing, the focal, this gorgeous little branch. And this is going to be a super simple, fast necklace that anybody could make. I'm going to start here by making a little component. And I do think that I want to pull in some seed beads just for to make these little cup flowers, just to put a little something in the middle of the flower. I just have a few 8/0 galvanized seed beads. I don't have many left. I use them a lot. And I'm going to take a piece of my 20 gauge wire and get my 1-step looper in here. I'm going to use my smallest one today just because of the scale of the chain. And if you're not familiar with this tool with no beads on, you can put the wire in just past this back jaw and gently close it so that you can see what you're doing. Make sure your wire is against this back plate as much as possible, and then the tool makes the fresh cut for you, just even just a tiny little bit, and then I can watch it make my loop. And now I pull my wire down so that loop is centered on the wire. And this is a little bit of a long piece, but from here I can smooth the wire and straighten it, and get ready to have a really nice component. Just pull it so that that loop is centered. And when I take it away, I have this really gorgeous loop. And now I'm just going to create my little bead pattern. I'm going to put a seed bead on. And I'm going to put my purple flower facing down. And I'm going to get another disc. I want to put a little gold disc in between here as well. I love this little collection of Tibetan spacer discs. I pull from it all the time, and it is linked underneath my videos in the section called My Current Favorite Findings. I'm going to try this one. I don't know if this one's going to be too fat, but I love it because when I'm doing anything, I can usually find the perfect spacer in that mix. That's pretty. Let me see. I do like that because it's like a puffy flower. But I'm going to try the smaller one as well. There's not going to be a lot of beads on this. It's really going to be a minimalist little branch. Which one do you guys like better? I think I like the puffy one a little bit better. So that little component looks just like that. I think it's gorgeous. And now I'm going to put it back in my 1-step looper. I'm going to get a hold of this loop. And this time I will use the guide hole since I have so much wire there, and gently close the tool so that I can watch what's happening here. And when beads are on, and especially you have different shapes in your beads, the second loop sometimes you don't get an absolutely perfect closure, but if you can keep the wire as close to the back plate, you'll get a pretty good closure. But I can watch as I'm closing here to see that I'm not breaking my beads. And if it wants to flip out, you just make it stay in there, close the tool, pull my stack of beads down as I'm closing, and now that loop is centered. I got it ever so slightly misaligned, so while it's still in the tool, I'll correct that, and that little component is done and perfect. Okay, and then on this side, I want to do the exact same thing with this little table cut bead. I love that bead, and I just wanted to feature it, and I love how you can see through it. So for a more delicate chain and a more delicate piece of jewelry, I think the being able to see through it is really charming, and it doesn't add weight, or like, what am I trying to say, weigh down the piece. Look at that. It's just so pretty and just light and airy. Love it. And then I'm going to repeat the same thing we did with the other stack of beads. Just push my bead right up to the front, and I want my loop to be going in the same direction. Close, and I'll just pull this down as I'm closing. So I'm watching that I'm not breaking my bead, and once again, because of the shape of the bead, your loops can sometimes become misaligned, but you can correct it while it's still in the tool, and that little component is done. And now from here, this is really just assembly. Oh, I have one more thing to do. This little flower needs a ball head pin. Look at that little tiny flower. So beautiful. In this one, I'm just going to do my simple loop by hand. Just going to get a hold of the head pin and give it a bend. Okay, I'm just going to open this and add it to the bottom of one of my butterfly links. That is so sweet. And before I add in my embellishments, let me go ahead and connect my chain to my little branchy bar. So I have two different sizes of jump rings here, and I'm going to use the larger one. This is a 6 millimeter jump ring, and I'm just going to use that to connect my chain to each side. So just put that through. Close it really well. And on this side of my piece, I'm going to use this to attach right here instead of a jump, or do I want a jump ring? Jump rings do make things move. Maybe I'll do the jump ring. They do make things not get kinked. You get a little bit of more fluidity. And I'm going to do the purple flower at the bottom. That is already so beautiful. And then I am going to open this simple loop at the top and add my chain right to this. And then on this side, I'm going to add this little table cut bead, but I'm going to come up a little bit on my chain. So I'm going to cut it. I'm going to cut my chain right about here so that it makes an asymmetrical design. And I'm going to do the same thing, just open those two simple loops on this component and add it right to my chain. Okay, now I can put my clasp on back here with a couple of really small jump rings. These are 4 millimeter jump rings, and I made these out of the same wire as I mentioned, it's just craft wire, but it has an anti-tarnish coating, and it's 20 gauge, so it's nice and strong. And I'm going to put my, I'm right-handed, so I'm going to put this. This is wreaking havoc with me because it's opposite when it's laying flat on the work table in front of me. And I'm just going to do the same thing on the other side with the lobster. Look at that. It's so pretty. It's already so pretty. So my plan was to hang this right here, and I was thinking if I wanted to add in another butterfly to my chain. What do you guys think? Is it too much for such a delicate piece? Would it be better to just have the 3 things? And I do want to use these with this chain for my necklace that's going to be longer to layer with this. So I think I'll save it for that. And I'm going to come right back with another really small jump ring. I may even have to make another size jump ring. I didn't try to see if this fits over my branch, but I want it to fit over my branch so that it stays right here offset. I don't want it to slide up and down the branch. So if I have to get out my bail making pliers and make a perfect size jump ring for here, I will. But I'm going to try this one. Let's see how it works. And when I have like really small jump rings or small loops to close, Xuron crimping pliers are great. They have such a small tip, and they are great for being able to close really small work. This is so sweet. I love this. I think this is absolutely gorgeous. It's delightful. This is just so, it's delicate, but it's whimsical at the same time. And it is kind of whimsical. And look, with a 4mm jump ring, it's going to keep that dangle in place. I just absolutely love this first little sweet necklace. Little bit of flowers, one little leaf, a table cut bead, and this gorgeous chain. And so I'll do one more thing. Those of you who have been on my channel, you know that when I'm finished with a piece where I have gold plating, I take my Permalac semi-gloss and I'll brush it over everything. The little butterflies that Diane sent me, including my ball head pin, this little branch. Let me just show you really quickly for newer people. I know that many of you have already seen this, but this is such a great product, especially for like chain like this that's going to be touching the skin. It protects the 14 karat gold plating. So I'm just going to do my whole butterfly, do my whole branch. The jump rings and the components that I made, they don't need it because they are anti-tarnish. And my seed beads are even galvanized, so they don't need it either. But I just let it dry a little bit, and I'll work my way up the chain, and I'll brush even the chain. I did have somebody ask me, can you use Permalac on chain? You absolutely can, and on this delicate chain, it's super easy. Just, let me move a little bit so you can see, but just brush it. And then you can flip it over and brush it again. And you may have to like loosen up your links after it dries, but you don't need to make it swim in the Permalac, but just give it a little coat, and it's only an 18-inch chain, so there's not a lot here. So I'll finish the rest of that off camera and put some better pictures up at the end. And I thank you so much for watching. I hope you'll subscribe to my channel because I will be back in a separate video with a long necklace to layer with this, and it's going to be stunning using Vicky's bird. I'm so excited to get started on that one, but I wanted to do my smaller one first, and then my plan is whatever is left with the flowers and leaves to do earrings and maybe a bracelet, but I wanted to get my necklaces done first. So again, I thank you guys so much. I hope you like our new collaboration box, and I will see you in the next video. Ciao everybody.